The St. Louis Blues fell to the Philadelphia Flyers 3-2 in overtime. I'm going to talk to you all about this game, what went right, what went wrong, and of course, looking ahead for the Blues. This is Locked On Blues.
Hey, this is Brayden Chen. Subscribe to Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So as I said, the St. Louis Blues, they did fall to those Philadelphia Flyers 3-2 in overtime. The game just ended, and it was quite a match between the two teams. Personally, I'm going to talk more about kind of my thoughts about the game and kind of react to what the Blues need to do, what the Flyers did right, all of it. So we're going to get into all of it, okay? Before I dive any deeper, I just want to let you know that you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place $5 bets, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. I like a good hockey game, okay? I'll say that. I do like a good hockey game. And I had a feeling this whole entire time that this game was going to go into overtime. I just had a gut feeling about it. The thing is, and I don't know if you feel this way, but I felt like Philadelphia had more control than the Blues did the entire time. And I don't necessarily know if that's because Philadelphia has been playing better hockey recently, but it frustrates me because the Blues have had off for multiple days since Wednesday. So I'm kind of like, they had time to rest and time to get better, but they were off to a really slow start. But overall, it was one of those games where I'm going to look back on and say this was a well-fought game. I mean, the Blues did get a point, which again is good. I know that it's not the ideal situation and not what this team wanted tonight, especially with how tough, okay, the Central Division is. And we talk about this all the time, how tough it is. But in the first period, the Blues didn't do much, honestly. It was the Flyers' forward, Owen Tippett, who was able to give Philadelphia the 1-0 lead. And he did have an assist from Matvei Michkov, who did feed him the puck. So that put Philadelphia on top. The thing is, the Flyers also had majority of the shots on goal in that first frame, and they really held the Blues from making any real chances. Now, the Flyers have had a very interesting goalie situation, okay? They had Alexei Kolosov in net tonight. They usually have Sam Ersson, but he was out just due to injury, so they had him in net. Fedotov is also in net too. But here's the thing. Second frame, I'm going to say my honest thoughts, boring. Nothing really happened. A lot of chances for both teams. By the way, Binner played great tonight despite the loss. Like, he did play great hockey. So Dylan Holloway actually was able to get the Blues on the board and tied it up in the third period, about halfway through. And then, like, less than a minute later, we know how this goes. The Flyers' forward Tyson Foerster was able to give Philadelphia the 2-1 lead again. But this is where it gets crazy, okay? On the power play, and they did pull Binner, so they had, a couple extra men advantage. With 18 seconds left, Jake Neighbors was able to score for the Blues and tie the game up 2-2. Now, you might be wondering, Haley, they lost. That is not good for the St. Louis team, who does need points right now to compete in this competitive Central Division. While that is true, the Blues still came away with a point. The two teams head to overtime, and Matvei Michkov, 28 seconds into overtime with a feed from Konechny, he was able to have a breakaway, Michkov, and score, and he gave Philadelphia the win. Binner looked really upset as he was leaving the ice, throwing his stick in frustration. Well, not like throwing it, but like hitting his stick in frustration. But I mean, again, it was just one of those goals that was inevitable. But overall, the Blues, I mean, what can I say? They just got overplayed, but they still were in the game. And this isn't the same St. Louis team that I saw in New Jersey and in New York. They looked more lackadaisical today. I don't know if it's because they underestimated Philadelphia, but the Flyers really were the team that looked better than the Blues for most of the game, which I was actually quite surprised about. Now, on the pregame show, I did say that I did think this game was going to head into overtime, which I'm notorious for saying, but with this Philadelphia team, this was their 10th game heading into overtime this season. So I don't think I'm that far off from saying I felt like that was a possibility. However, with the St. Louis team, I know that they are able to put up a fight in the final frame, and they've been doing that again. It's the second frame that's been an issue for the Blues all throughout the entirety of this season. And when the juice kind of stops going, right, and the Blues are not generating, that's when the frustration happens. Now, there was I have to tell you, Jordan Bennington, he was honored tonight, by the way. He had a ceremony prior to puck drop, and he did play a great game. I'm going to give him that. And I've said that before, but I truly do mean that. He did play a great game. Now, again, do I think that this was a winnable game for the Blues? Absolutely. The Flyers, by the way, outshot the Blues 31-27. The Blues had more hits in Philadelphia, 27-12. And Philadelphia won 31 out of the 21 faceoffs. It was actually kind of funny, but within like the first 2 minutes, there was about like 10 whistles blown. It was actually kind of annoying. Philadelphia had 2 power play opportunities. The Blues had 3. So overall, I mean, the giveaways, which is another problem that I mentioned before with the Blues, they had 21 to Philadelphia's 11. And this is what I've been saying for the whole season. St. Louis needs to work on their giveaways. It's just not ideal in any single way. Flyers had more block shots than the Blues, going 17-8. So overall, back and forth between the two teams, obviously, but the Blues at least do gain that extra point, just due to obviously going to overtime. But I want to focus more on I know I did a little bit of a whole game overview. While the Blues did get a point, they didn't win. So the winning streak from Coach Montgomery officially comes to an end. But what I will say is I don't know if this team would be able to put up the fight that they did if it was Bannister behind the bench. Because I'm telling you, that last minute, the aggressiveness that I saw from this team, we've seen this team in crunch time before, and they don't shoot. They pass and they don't shoot. But they were actually shooting. So that was a big advantage, obviously, for the Blues tonight. I just, I'm looking at this goal, this OT goal, right, that Matvei Michkov scored for the Philadelphia Flyers. And on that breakaway, I mean, there was no way that anyone could have caught up to him, but it snuck right past Binner. And I need to watch that again a little bit. I'm like reacting live on here. So he goes down the ice, boom, right inside like the 2-hole area. And there was no stopping. I mean, Kyrou did try to skate after him, but he wasn't able to catch up. And by the time he got there, it was just way too late. And that's what happened. I kind of figured that it snuck right underneath Binner's pads in a way a little bit because of the little flip up. But, I mean, it was just one of those goals that was inevitable to stop. And was that Kyrou? Who was that chasing him? Yeah, right past there. Oh, it was Colton Parayko, not Kyrou. I saw the 5 and I was like, wait, no, it was Colton Parayko. But again, one of those goals that was just inevitable, and it was a great goal. I mean, for what it was, but whew, unbelievable. All right, I'm going to talk more about what went wrong and what went right for the St. Louis Blues tonight and the Philadelphia Flyers on this post-game show. But I do want to tell you really fast about my friends over at Prize Picks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quickly as 15 minutes. PrizePicks now offers Venmo for quick, easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value to your lineups. I know that I use PrizePicks and I love PrizePicks, so this is what you need to do, okay? Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. What went right and what went wrong? That was like a tongue twister for me. I don't know why. But anyways, let's go talk about what went right for the Blues and what went wrong. Obviously, Philadelphia had a lot of shots on goal tonight, 31. Obviously, 3 of them go in, but I still believe that Jordan Binnington did play a great game. I mean, there were so many opportunities for that puck to go right by him, but he just made phenomenal saves throughout the entire game. So that's like a tongue twister. That's what went right for the Blues on that one. The thing about things going wrong, even like when it's Foxa getting, sent to the penalty box, that was something that could have been easily preventable. It was holding against Morgan Frost, and it was a very obvious one too. But you just have to be a little bit more careful in those type of plays. And I think for the Blues, they get caught up sometimes in those moments. But again, not ideal. Another thing too is Alexei Kolosov is a fine goalie, right? He's very new in this league. He's a rookie, played a handful of games. And I know Brandon Saad in the first frame did have a shot that was probably the closest that it was going to go into net in that first period. And I think the Blues just need to continue with their positioning, continue to push for the rebounding. You saw that happen with Neighbors' goal with the 18 seconds left in the regulation. They're by the net. They're right there just in case. And I feel like if the Blues attack it that way throughout the entirety of the game, they would have had at least a couple more goals. However, I can't sit here and say, yeah, this seems like the exact reason why this game didn't go the way. No. I mean, at the end of the day, no. But here's the thing. It was one of those saves that and I'm going to just read you about it because it was kind of crazy about Binner's save. So he basically had this fantastic save. The Flyers captain, Sean Couturier, tried to put in the net. Binner was on the ground and he extended his glove and was able to save it. So Konechny, first off, the puck went off the Binner's pads. And then when it went off, Couturier was right post by the net, trying to get it in. And then Binner just moved his arm and saved it. Watch the video. It's all online. But that, to me, just goes to show why he is one of the best goalies in the league. It's the defense of the Blues, right? And we talk about this the entire season, about how that's their weak point. But, I mean, Philadelphia has just been playing much better hockey. I just can't believe that Binnington has saved some of those shots. It's crazy. It really is crazy. But, again, the team needed to score more and they didn't. And that's the issue. It's that Philadelphia was able to just maintain so much control throughout this game, which I think I was a little bit surprised about. I don't know how you might have felt about that one. I just know personally that I was not expecting the Blues to not be as dominant on the ice. If that's a fair statement to make. But either way, I mean, watching this game, I just feel like this team has what it takes. I think that's the frustrating part too for the St. Louis Blues, is that this team obviously can play against really good teams. I mean, you saw how they played against the Rangers, the Devils, and then against Philadelphia, it just seemed to be a little bit of a struggle. But again, they need to find ways to finish. And I've been saying that for a while now, but it's just so infuriating. And if they were able to get some of those pucks in the net, some of the ones that they had good chances with, then they would have won, but they didn't. And when I think back to the New Jersey and the New York games, they were really aggressive early on. Like there wasn't any hesitation. They just went right to the net and they got the job done. The problem was they didn't score anything until the final 50 minutes of the game, which is not good. But the team at least was responsive enough to send this game to overtime, which to me basically said, hey, this is a sign in the right direction. You're still on a point streak. Relative, because it's only been 3 games of now having a point streak. But you've only had points with Coach Montgomery, which honestly, I have to tell you, is a pretty good thing to have. And I want to look ahead to coming up soon because there is a lot of tough games that the Blues are about to have. Okay. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, an easy slate of games. It's not. It's really not. It's going to be tough. So for anybody that's wondering, was this a bad game? I don't want to say it was a bad game total. I think in the third period, the Blues actually did put up a really good fight and they played their best hockey in that final frame. I think Benner was on the whole entire night. That first goal from Owen Tippett, it's just one of those goals where it happens, it's going to go in, but I wouldn't necessarily say that. My honest take, honestly, it could have been saved, but it is what it is. But either way, the second period was just too much back and forth. I just didn't like the penalty that Foxa had. I thought the holding on Frost could have been preventable. Either way, I could be very negative. I could be. But I'm going to look at this as a positive for the Blues that they at least got a point. No, they did not win the series against the Flyers. The Flyers have now won 2-0. 2-0 and 1, But defeated the Blues both games, right? But the Blues did walk away with 1 point, which is fine. So the Blues in the last 3 games have 5 points. Am I upset about that? No, I'm not. Could it be better? Absolutely. And I want to look ahead because, as I said, the Blues do have some tough games coming up. It's not going to be easy. But I want to talk to you about my friends over at FanDuel first. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more at FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. So I just talked to you about the Philadelphia Flyers' 3-2 OT win over the Blues. The Blues do, however, walk away with a point, which is good, all things considering. And now they look ahead. It was a well-fought battle tonight. I will say that the third period of hockey was definitely entertaining. But the Blues, they still have some work to do. So let's go take a look ahead about the standings now. And also, I want to talk to you about their schedule ahead. So the Blues now have 24 points. They gained that 1 point tonight in their loss to the Philadelphia Flyers, but in overtime. The Colorado Avalanche do have 26 points, by the way. And you might be wondering, Hale, is it possible for the Blues to catch up? Well, I'm going to end up mispronouncing this. I always say this wrong. Basically, there is 16. They're minus 16 between them and the Jets, which is not good. However, okay, the Blues just really need to focus on getting into wildcard positioning, right? Which they could do, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, they have 24 points. The Jets have 36. Wild have 34. Stars have 28. Avs have 26. You can get ahead of that. But you look at the Pacific, right? The VGK have 33. Knights have 30. I mean, the Kings have 31. Flames have 28. Canucks 27. So, and even Edmonton has 26. So you really do need to continue building those points, which is why it's important to take a look ahead to some of the Blues' games coming up. So on Tuesday, the Blues will be in Winnipeg to take on the Jets. Okay, so they were literally on the road. They came home for this one game against Philadelphia, and then they were on a 3-game road trip again. So then they have the Jets on Tuesday. On Thursday, they're going to be in Calgary taking on the Flames. And then on Saturday, they're taking on Edmonton, which I'm very excited about that Edmonton game, by the way, on December 7th, 10 p.m. puck drop. So for us, it'll be 9 p.m. That game is going to be the offer sheet game. And maybe we'll see Kapanen. But I am definitely excited about that one. That's a game that intrigues me just because now that Philip Broberg is back. By the way, he played fine tonight. It was good to have him back in the lineup. And I was right. They did send Corey back down to the T-Birds. No surprise on that one whatsoever. I mean, we all kind of knew that was going to happen. But he did a fine job while he was here. Bushi was out of the lineup tonight, by the way. So that was the only updates. I didn't know if I told you any of that. But yeah, so the Blues, they now will be taking on the Jets on Tuesday, which I'm not going to say that's an automatic loss. However, it's not an automatic win. So that is that. Listen, that's why it was important for them to do well with the Metropolitan teams. Obviously, they did lose those Islanders, but they were still under Bannister. So we have a clean slate now. And ever since Coach Montgomery has been with this team, they've had points in every single game. It may not be the results that they wanted. And I know it's definitely a frustrating loss of those Flyers tonight, but at least they walked away with a point. So that will do it for today's post-game episode of Locked On Blues. I'm sure I'll talk more about this game on Monday as well, but I just wanted to do a live one because this is the last time this season I'm able to do something like this where I cover both of the teams and can give you some exclusive information. So with that being said, I will talk to you on Monday. And like always, let's go Blues.